Hello, and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja, and right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
Hello, everyone, and hello, listeners, mate, for coming in here first.
Like
waving the flag of first.
Yes.
Into the chat room.
I mean, on the ready.
You.
I mean, we were like 12 seconds in, and he was already here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You
got
to jump on it.
Jump on it.
Jump on it.
Jump on it. There's that whole song.
I was going to say, speaking of our pre-show talk about music.
Oh, yeah. There's another one, too. So Mix-a-Lot was fresh.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Well, it's still cold in California. You were talking about heat before we started. You were saying
it's
how
cold in
warm
California. Shut the fuck up.
It's cold in the sense of, like, what is it? It's like pretty chilly. I mean, for June, for mid-June, where we're still in the 50s and whatnot. Like, that's pretty cold for almost July. Like, we're almost into July. We're 10 days from July, which is the start of summer.
I mean, we're 10 days from July, Francis, and in one of our mountain peaks, I believe it was Pikes Peak, one of our the mountain that they race on, and people, it's a tourist spot sort of thing. It snowed almost 2 inches the other day.
Whoa! Oh, wow!
And
you guys are skiing late into the year, it seems.
I don't think you'd want to ski.
You refuse to give it up.
This place. This isn't really a skiable mountain. I mean, I guess you could if you.
Oh, I forgot. Yes, Pikes Peak is a coffee mountain. That's right. That's all about the coffee there. Yeah, I forget about that. Yes.
What?
Or is this a different Pikes Peak? Is this the different one from the Seattle, the one that that Starbucks is all about?
That's like
Pikes.
Like
Pikes Place.
Pikes Place. It's
whatever.
Pikes Place is a few blocks from Pikes Peak.
Pikes Peak.
Yeah,
okay.
Like
I was close.
First he was here and he was at his peak, and that's when he climbed that mountain. He was like, "This is my peak," and then it was all downhill from there. And then he found a place that he can call his own.
All downhill.
That kind of worked. That kind of worked. No relation, sir. No relation.
How's it going?
Actually, I have actually no idea where the name Pikes Peak came from. I'm not going to look it up. How am I? I don't really know how to answer that question, because something I didn't tell you before we started, Francis, is if you guys are out there on the Twitters, you may have seen that I posted something earlier today about signing up for something that might be way over my ability to do.
Is this a Nerds That Geek thing?
No, this is a little bigger than that, Francis. This is it very well could be a POI thing. This is a feather in the hat thing. FanExpo.
Tell me more.
FanExpo contacted me, and they said, "Hey, you've shown interest in hosting a panel. How would you like to do that?" And I said, "Hell yes, I want to do that." And then they sent me
what third-rate comic book creator are you going to put me with, or what no-name voice actor are you going to have me talk to?
I would be totally okay with that. You know that. I would be totally.
Oh yeah.
Quote unquote, dink dink, as we say. No-name voice actor. No.
Sure. Yeah.
No. The kayfabe. It's someone in the comic department of FanExpo contacted me. So
do you have to kayfabe something that actually is being announced?
Well, until I think it's official. Let me tell the story.
Oh.
So they contacted me. They said, "Hey, you want to do this?"
Okay.
I said, "Yes."
Sorry.
It's fine. They sent me the list of what's available. Okay. It's all comic artists, which Francis, I'm not an avid comic reader. I'm a extremely casual comic reader at best. And the all the comic artists that I don't know because of their art. I know because of who they are on a personal level.
Sure.
Whether they be friends of friends or people I've met or whatever the case is. Well, I looked at the list of panels and sketch duels that were available with the comic artists, and I'm going to the list and I go, I don't know a single name. I know that these names are big in the comic world because I have that much knowledge of the fact that like these names, if their FanExpo is bringing them in, they're somebody, right? I look at the whole list. I see one name that I have seen at Comic Cons, and I'm aware he is a comic artist, but I have no idea who the fuck he is. Right? Anyway, I reach back to the contact and I say, hey, I've never hosted a sketch duel. Of the ones that are available, this one on Sunday I think would work best. And he gets back to me and says, only one? And I was like, well, in my head, I'm like, I'm not trying to be greedy. And I didn't even expect to get even a chance. So I'll take one, yes. And he's like, well, if you want any others, let me know. I can use some help on Sunday. And I told him, I was like, I gotta be really honest with you. I don't know who these people are. So it would be best if somebody with better knowledge of these people took those spots. And also, I don't want to embarrass myself because we all know I have a major confidence issue. So why the fuck do I do this? I believe this was all facilitated mostly by our good buddies Stan Konopka and Jason Clark. So I contacted Jason and I said, hey, this is what's going on. This is the current status. Like, he asked me for more and I don't know how to answer, And so Jason started talking to the same contact. So we're now having this, like, not a three-way conversation, but he's telling me what the guy is saying and he's relaying stuff that I'm saying to Jason. Worked out. I think I haven't heard back from the guy, but I think I'm officially doing hosting two sketch duels at FanEx Denver, like in an official an official capacity, and I don't know how to feel right now. I want to shit, but like, but I'm just like, oh my crap! And as Ginger is saying, and it's something I was thinking to myself as well. I have a week and a half to figure out and write some bullet points down as to who they are, and Jason's going to provide me with some tips and tricks on how to host a sketch duel and give me, I think he has some audio from one of them, so at least I can try and learn and get some pointers from that. But yeah, I think that's an official thing, and until I'm told differently, I'm just going to say it is. And that's a feather, man. That's a feather. We've been doing this for a long time, and it's one thing to have a fellow podcaster and content creator be like, hey, you want to join me on an adventure to this thing that nobody can really get into? That's a fucking huge feather as well. But like, this is a whole different level. And I'm boasting
at it now.
I'm boasting, and you don't know, I don't like to do that much. So I'm just like, it's weird.
Yeah, there's a couple on here, so yeah, it looks exciting. Sadly, listeners, none of them are the artist or creator of She-Hulk, so we're gonna have to sadly pass on that. But it does look like there's some a couple of already announced sketch duels happening on Sunday of FanExpo Denver. So you got some stuff to look forward to. Very nice. Congratulations on a level up on your moderation and panel uh, s- uh, repertoire, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited in the sense of like, yeah, this is an accomplishment. But at the same time, I'm like, what the fuck am I getting myself into? you know, uh,
Well, luckily, I think sketch duels are going to be easier to handle
eh,
because it's less interview and more like commentary, I guess. Because I think you'll probably like, well, blah blah blah. Maybe it's like a race. I'm guessing
I
or
think
something. I don't
I think it's
know.
a timed event sort of thing, and also like
Yeah.
maybe audience participation as to what what is the character these two artists are gonna sketch for you, in their own styles.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I think that's how it goes. I think it's an hour. Maybe a sketch duel is like three different sketches or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because the right now for the sketch duels, it looks like the only details that they have is that it's at a specific time. Um, it doesn't say how long it is, and it's with three separate artists, which is crazy. So
Well, it
you're going to
depends.
moderate.
Well, so
Oh,
the one that I signed up for is with an artist named Mike Kunkel, Kunkel, Kunkel,
oh, Kunkel. Okay.
versus John Delaney. Uh,
Oh,
not the art, not the comedian. Um,
that'd be amazing.
and then
That one
uh,
has a third one. That has a third person.
not according to the guy not according to my guy.
Okay. Well, the schedule has three people
No,
in
okay.
that one.
So then the other one is with Tony Harris versus Jay Lee, who is the only name out of all the
Yeah,
artists
yeah.
that were on the list that were available to me. I even
Big
recognize,
DC artist.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I recognize him as a DC guy, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
That one is also a
That
They're
also
all
what?
three people. All three
Not.
people.
I don't think they are because the guy would have told me that it's
Oh.
three people.
Well, they okay. Well, they need to erase the third name from these from these sketch duels because it's Jai Lee versus Tony Harris versus Maria Wolf. And then
That might not be. I mean, that might be another sketch duel, but he didn't tell me that. And see, it's funny
oh,
when I
yeah.
saw that Maria Wolf name, I thought that was the lady that's been on
Mhm.
Super Geeked Up a bunch of times. So I'm like, is that her? And I'm like looking her
Yeah, but
up.
she's that'd be really funny. But yeah, Marisa Wolf. That's
Marisa. See, I was
the author
close.
Marisa Wolf versus Maria Wolf. Yeah.
Well, it shows I pay some
Um.
attention.
Yeah.
But I
No,
mean,
that's fun. Look, this is
that's really the big exciting news because this has kind of been brewing for a couple weeks now. But I didn't want to say
Mhm.
anything because there was nothing to say. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm shitting with excitement.
Good. That sounds disgusting, but good.
It's just
Um.
look, man. I see. I said it again. I fucking hate it when I say look. Um, this has been a journey for us. This has been a journey, and
Yes, it has been.
to go from
It's
your little voice acting project that you came up with for everybody to the voice acting gigs that we've gotten through our contacts,
mm,
through meeting people and getting to go to fucking Comic Cons all over the country. All that stuff is fun. All that stuff is awesome.
right.
Moderating in Philly, like that was our shit, you know? But then
Yeah.
yeah, it may have been facilitated by our friends, but it doesn't
Right.
matter. The one of the biggest convention
Look.
companies out there hit me up and said, "You want to do this?"
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's
No.
perspective. It's all perspective, right? I might be making a bigger deal than it actually is, but to me, it's a big fucking deal.
Well, it is because they are. It's something that they're just like, hey, we want you to do this thing because you said. It's not like because they trust you and they feel like you can do the job. Otherwise, they wouldn't ask you to do it. And more than one, might I add, not just the one thing. They're like, do more than the one thing that we're asking you to do. Do multiple things, please, because we would like you to be integrated into our community. Because I think, look, you may not say it out loud, but I'm saying it out loud for you. I think this is your convention. This is where you're not just an attendee or like press. You're staff. You're a part of it now, right? Like you're just like with Great Philly, you're a part of this one now. They want you to be a person who's like essentially working there, right? You're essentially an employee of
for the weekend
convention because you're doing, for the weekend,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what most people are. Most people are volunteers. Most people are people
Sure.
who just want to be able to do these fun things, like moderate, right? Like it's not like you're getting paid for it or anything. And you live in the area, so it's not like they're gonna have to comp you a room.
Right. And I'm already there anyway.
Because you're there.
Yeah.
So it's not like they have to do any of that.
Well, and from
Yeah.
what I understanding,
Yeah. So,
like it's apparently it's been like pulling teeth or finding people A, then pulling teeth to get people to do more than one for whatever reason. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do more than one. I just like, I got to spend some time and try and figure things out and who these people are and what their talents are, their strengths and whatnot, I guess. And like I said, Jay's gonna. Speaking of that, Jason's gonna send me, like I said, points and tips on how to do it, and I'm just gonna have to be a student once again.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, no big deal. This is easy. This is cake for you. It'll be fine. It'll be great, and you'll have your cards in front of you. You'll tell some jokes. The crowd will love you. They'll be like, "Why isn't this Josh guy around more often to do these panels? We need him more." And then and then you'll do like the big the equivalent of Hall H stuff at some point, and you'll be like, "Yeah, of course."
We'll be like, then I'll just next thing you know, I'll be like our buddy Mark, hobnobbing with all the stars,
yeah,
doing speeches
Yeah.
before a rocket launches full of ashes of our favorite, geek stars, nerd stars of whatever. He's got a rad job. Don't make. I don't want it to make it sound like I'm clowning on the guy. He's got a rad job.
Yeah. But soon you're just going to be so jaded with all of the celebrity access you're going to have. Oh, dear Paul.
It's funny. It's so funny, Francis. A guy at work, because, the few people that will listen, that, I like to tell, I'll tell a story or something if I've got something to say. And, a lot of my fun stories, in recent times have all involved being at a Comic-Con or some sort of Comic-Con involved thing, and people that we've met or I have met. And this guy looks at me after, listening to a few of the stories over the last, let's say month or so. And he's like, "Man, you know a lot of connected and influential people. Why the fuck do you work here?" And I was like, "It's easy. I know all these people. I'm talentless. That's why they don't hire me."
Oh my God.
Like, if I had any talent,
Like,
they would
around
take
these
me under
people.
their wing and be like, "Come with me and I'll show you the way how to make money."
Well, here's the thing. It's who you know, man.
Right.
At some point, somebody will be like, "Oh, what we need is a guy to do like the voiceover for our DC comic movie trailers." And
Yeah, great.
This announcer guy who did the. You never know. Yeah, look, hey, those artists that you're going to be doing the sketch, competitions with, they have clout. They've been, especially Jai Lee, has been like with DC forever, right? Like he's a staple of that, right? So like you're gonna, there's people with clout. If if you get along and they like you, they might just be like, "Yeah, well, this guy around more. Let's have him do a thing," and then they'll have you do a thing.
Yeah,
Just like Ginger says, they wouldn't have asked you if they didn't believe you could do it.
I mean,
So they know you could do it.
like I said, I mean, if this was facilitated by our friends, then I'm here for it. Then I have the added pressure too of like not letting these two guys down, but or making them look bad. But yeah, you should let this guy in. He's good. He's good. I just get up there and just suck. Like, all right, well, fuck your guys' chances.
You're not gonna,
No, I'm gonna do my due
your cards,
diligence.
you're gonna-
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of dudes named Jay,
Oh, dude's named Jay. Okay.
people at work have started to refer to me
Yes.
as Jay, and I keep ignoring everybody because there's already a guy there that people refer to as Jay. So I think they're talking to him when they're really trying to get my attention. So I'm a rude motherfucker because I just ignore everybody because no one's ever called me Jay in my entire life.
You already have two names. You have Josh and Hawks, or El Hawkes, or whatever. Like, you have your last name as an identifier, and your first name. And Jay isn't even short for Josh. Josh is already short. Josh is the shortening of the name.
I mean, yeah, Josh is the short name of Joshua. So like, you can't, if you go any shorter, you turn it into a different name. You either drop the H and you become like a Scandinavian name of Joss, or you drop the S and you're almost a John. Or you're
I could see Joe.
Or you're Joe, yeah. Or you drop, yeah.
Yeah, I can see Joe.
But that's weird. That's a different.
I can see Joe being shorter.
Well, yeah, because it's half of Josh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I've in the past I have been called, like, people have called me F, like as just a name. So it's not unusual that people just use the first letter of the name.
I mean, I have referred to you as the F man, but that's more like,
That's yeah, that's.
But like that was
it's more in fun than it is anything else.
Right. I haven't officially referred to you anywhere publicly as the F man.
Right.
Like that was just between us podcaster people while we're waiting for you to show up for something, or whatever the case was.
Yeah, J-Dog.
J-Dog. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like we've had a J-Dog as well. So like, don't just call if you want to call me something. If you don't want to call me Josh, just call me Hawks. I'm fine with that. Fucking call me asshole. Yeah. Call me hey fuckhead. Like whatever. I'll respond to whatever you want to call me. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, listeners. He could be Osh, Kosh, and Bagosh.
I could be all three of them. Yes. Like my head could spin every time I turn into one of the other. That could be Osh, and then like Osh could be cool, and then Gosh. Wait, what is it?
You have to.
Osh, gosh.
Osh, Kosh, Bagosh. Is
Osh,
that like
Kosh.
kids overall?
And then like Kosh. Kosh could be like a fucking, a nice guy, but he could be a dick, at the same time. And then Bagosh is just a fucking prick, just a cynical asshole.
Yeah. But, that's so funny that, okay, well, all right, Jay.
Yeah, it's very odd. It's very odd. Any fun stuff going on with you, sir? While I look at my notes and take a drink.
Fun stuff. I wish there were fun stuff happening. I do intend to go back to Universal Studios at some point, which is the fun stuff.
Well, you might want to go quick, man, because they're tearing down the shit. I forgot what it's called. The Universal Village. Is that what they called it?
Really?
They're tearing it all down.
I don't know.
Oh
wow. Why?
They're putting in sound stages. So like the Partridge family house is partially or is torn down at this point. The Griswold house is getting torn down. The Lethal Weapon house is getting torn. Well, the house. They're fucking facades. Yes, I know. Facade. But they're tearing. I didn't know that the Lethal Weapon house and the Griswold house were next door to each other. Pretty cool. Fun fact. Or they're a house apart from each other, but either way, they're on the same street. So all these houses, the I Dream of Genie, the Bewitched, or one of the two of them is getting torn. Like all those fucking all the set pieces where that Marvel show, the witch and the fucking robot guy. What the fuck is it called? Scarlet Witch TV show.
The WandaVision.
WandaVision. So like the streets that the battle with what's her face? I'm horrible with names tonight. Holy shit. Agatha. All of that shit is getting torn up and they're putting in sound stages. So if you want to go to Universal and check out the fucking, that's considered the back lot, isn't it?
Yes. So the back lot has a bunch of, they have like the Psycho House, right? Like here in Hollywood, they have the Psycho House where they have some dude dressed as Norman Bates. Like,
right, but that's part of the tour, though.
He's the only live actor. Crazy. That's true. But yes, it looks like several popular rides are closing. Luckily, mostly in Florida than it is in California. So some California rides. I think the one California ride that's going away. Is it going away? I don't know if it is actually. The Simpsons ride might be the one that might be getting an axe, but I'm not sure.
Well, I'm not talking
definitely a bunch of stuff from Florida because.
Well, I'm not talking about the ride part of it. I know like Jaws, all that shit in Florida is getting shut down, but I'm talking about like the backlot tour that you can, the walking tour.
Yeah.
Like where the Friends fountain, the Friends fountain where it was originally, it's been moved. So like the new where they did the reunion show, that fountain is the same fountain, but it's in a different location. What Warner Brothers? She was right. Ginger's right. It was the Warner Brothers back. What I thought was on the same.
Oh, Warner Brothers. Okay.
Is that not on the same fucking place?
No. Warner Brothers is separate. Okay. But, yeah, they do have they do a really cool backlot tour. Warner Brothers does. Okay. So not surprised.
Maybe that's what it was. I saw some.
Have the same kind of backlot.
I saw some video on the YouTubes this weekend. It was some guy that lives out in your area. Now I'm going to forget his name. Adam the Woo.
Oh, God. Adam the Woo. Yes, Adam the Woo. Yeah. Big YouTuber.
I mean, I've watched a few of his videos. There's ones where he did like filming locations that were kind of fun.
Right, yeah.
You know, like went to the...
He's all right. I mean,
Went to the Simpsons house, the actual Simpsons house that they fucking like gave away back in like 92 or whatever that was.
Yeah, they can't sell it anymore, I don't think. Yeah.
Well, someone lives in it.
Right. Yeah. But I thought the person who owned it couldn't sell the house because it's just because people keep going by and looking at the Simpsons house and so they're like, we can't sell this house because people don't want to live in a house that everyone wants to drive by and take pictures of, like the house from Breaking Bad, when everyone kept throwing a pizza on top of this house from Breaking Bad because that was a thing that happened in the show. And they're like, stop doing that. Leave our house alone.
Francis,
it's the house.
Do you remember when people attempted to save shows by doing stupid shit like that, throwing pizzas on a roof? There was one show... Sarah Connor Chronicles. Fuck, I can't ever say that. People when they found out that Fox was thinking about killing it, they started sending in pancake mix because Lena Headey or whatever her name is was always making pancakes for that version of John Connor. That version of Sarah was always making John Connor.
Sarah Connor was
okay. Always making pancakes. Yeah, they sent pancake mix to Fox. And Fox was like, please stop doing this. We think this is anthrax.
They saved the show called Jericho. They gave it a second or third season because they kept sending peanuts to I guess it was Fox as well. They kept sending peanuts to the studio because one of the famous lines in the show there's no peanuts in the show, but someone said nuts once. And so they're like, we're going to send peanuts to...
That's a lot of nuts.
And so they sent peanuts. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Everyone's favorite movie to love and or hate.
Yes. And we're both on the love side. If
yeah.
you know, you know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I remember a time when people attempted to save shows, and now nobody cares.
I mean, they tend to save. Well, here's the thing: there's too many shows, so you can never get a big enough audience, right? Because there's like a million TV shows out now that you can watch. And two, if a show goes away, there's always going to be another one around the corner that you're going to fall in love with. So who cares? Back in the day when the shows were only on major networks, you didn't really care about streaming. You're like, yeah, we got to save shows. Now,
Yeah.
it's everywhere.
That's
Who
true.
cares? Shows are everywhere. Nobody cares.
Well, speaking of saving things, and I wrote this down before I actually looked into it. So, like, what I wrote is a little bit more comical than what is actually happening.
Okay.
So with that in mind,
Hit me.
Sure. Apparently, 5 people voluntarily got into a vessel to go down and look at the Titanic. And that's not the news part to me, because that shit's been happening since fucking director guy went
James
down
Cameron.
there. Yeah, he went down there and did that shit too. There's an ABC correspondent that got stuck in his submersible between the boat and the propeller once. So like, this has been happening for years. That's not the fucking news.
Right.
Now, keeping in mind, this is before I found out what the fuck was happening. They all get into this thing voluntarily into a vessel that can only be opened from the outside. And that just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, yeah.
Like, at all. But then I did my due diligence, and I thought this was just a thing. I didn't know that it actually had launched, and it's now missing. And, you know, I'm not trying to be insensitive. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wrote this down before I looked into it, because everything I saw was
no. Look,
everything I saw was like, nah, man, this is just, it's a thing. And look at these people that are getting into a thing that can only be opened from the outside. That doesn't seem smart. And I was like, you know what? They've got a point. Let me write this shit down. And then I looked into it, and I'm like, oh, they launched it and it's lost and people might die. Okay. So it's not as funny.
Well, here's the thing.
But like, damn.
No. Well, okay, so people are still making fun of it for a couple of reasons. One, it's it's kind of a frivolous tour anyway, I guess. So people are making fun of the rich going into this submarine, and they're like, haha.
It's not a submarine.
Die billionaires.
Submarines can steer and propel on their own. This thing requires connection to another vessel.
And is controlled by a video game controller.
A fucking Mad Catz
$30 video game.
A Mad Catz PS2 controller.
Wow. Yeah, it's a Logitech PS2 controller, but yeah.
Whatever.
Right?
Whatever. Mad Catz, Logitech. Yeah. The only difference is fucking branding.
Yeah. That's true. I can't argue that. So a video game controller is what controls this sub, and yeah, so that another thing that people are joking about is like, oh, this super kind of like really harrowing and expensive journey is being controlled by like the dinkiest of flimsy controllers. Good for you guys. But yes, look, you know, no matter their status in life, may they not die and survive this crazy thing that they're doing.
I mean,
that's
I
crazy.
would at the very least. I would at the very least.
Yeah.
You know, spring for the OEM controller.
Yeah, or look, you know, get like one of the elite controllers. You know, like spend the extra $100 to get the really cool elite controller with like the little paddles in the back. You know, so you can do a little bit more than just dive and you know, submerge and whatever. Like, just do a little bit more, right?
Yeah, I mean,
put yeah.
It's very unfortunate, you know, what's happening. It's frivolous as hell. Everything I just do quick research on things. I don't spend time on any of this. I'm not here to solve problems. But like the couple things that I saw, you're all frozen and shit. Oh, there you're back. The couple things I saw on it were all like, this thing is like put together with hopes and dreams and like sticky pads and white tape with Sharpie written on it and shit.
Right.
And these are all
the
high dollar people getting into a aluminum tube with a Mad Catz controller and a toilet with a privacy screen.
Maybe they'll be lucky and find Rose's lost Heart of the Ocean necklace, and that'll
Oh, damn it, wrong button.
Points.
It's always the wrong fucking. I need to move that button, the points button. I need to move that.
Label it?
What?
Can you label those buttons? You can't label the buttons.
I mean, if I had kept the dry erase things, I kept them. Why would I leave them out? No.
And that's a good point, listeners, man. Yeah, all right. The bad thing about the submersible to see the Titanic was the company's poor choice in not installing good communications equipment. That's kind of the first thing you need, right? Like, you need to be able to talk to.
I mean, in my list of things that go anywhere that you need to bring your own air or atmosphere with you. First of all, you don't belong, because if you have to bring those things with you, you don't belong there. But if you insist on going, I would make sure one of the first things is that I have plenty of breathable oxygen. More than what my planned trip, much more than what my planned trip would be called for.
Right.
I would also have a ballast able to blow immediately. So in case I am at 12,500 feet, I can blow the ballast and, try to save myself without getting the mega bends and killing all the water aliens that show up on the ship. Try and save Sigourney Weaver and shit, or whoever that was. The Abyss.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember the actresses either in The Abyss, but yeah, go on.
It wasn't Sigourney Weaver.
I don't think it was. Sigourney Weaver. No,
it wasn't.
So.
It wasn't. But it's hot in here. That was a funny joke. So I wouldn't get the bins, and and I also make a door that I could open from the inside once equalization happened. Because back in the 60s, I thought we learned this lesson back in the 60s when those astronauts died in the fucking rocket with the fire inside the capsule that was only able to be opened from the outside. I thought we learned our lesson back then, but apparently not.
No.
So I'm not trying to make fun of anything.
Okay.
Not trying to be insensitive. Just saying, you're not going to get me, no matter how much money I have, into a thing that doesn't have its own ballast and can only be opened from the outside. No, fuck that.
At the very least, take an Apple AirTag with you, so then they can find you.
I mean, the way this rinky-dink thing was put together, I'm not surprised that it doesn't have a couple on it.
Yeah, or a low jack or something, so you can, find it.
This motherfucker just said low jack and shit. That's hilarious.
Isn't low jack still a thing?
I think it is. I mean, the club is still a thing, man. So low jack has to be a thing.
What's the club do?
What does it do?
I haven't had to do this in a while, but and this is going to sound stupid for me because I haven't had to do this, but do steering wheels still lock when you turn it a certain way? I mean,
your steering.
I've never had to,
it will.
I've had to do that though. Like I've never had to turn it till it locks, right? So I've never had to think about it. So I don't know, but okay, so they lock. Okay.
Yeah, they still lock. Man, what did you ask me before that? You fucked me up.
We're just talking about low jack.
Oh yeah. So you asked me what does the club do?
What's the club do?
It wedges in between. Well, you extendomatic it between your steering wheel, and then part of it extends up to your windshield, so you can't turn the wheel, quote unquote. You can't turn the wheel. But once a car is running and you have power steering, who's not to say you just can't turn the wheel and break the glass and drive off?
Yeah.
But what do I know? I've never actually stolen a car.
That's true. I haven't either. Yes, listeners made. Yeah, if they only 700. Look, they're billionaires. They could easily afford a sonar radio or anything to be able to put into. They could have just put in just put in $5 extra into this machine, man.
Like
and I think
said,
they would be fine.
They could have got an OEM controller.
Paid extra. Yeah. And right. Yeah. Or it's a controller. At least get a joystick. If you're gonna put a controller into like a sub, get a joystick.
Do you remember that?
Joy is in it.
Remember that mech battle? What is wrong with my fucking tongue tonight? Mech battle game for the Xbox, I believe, that had the big console controller. Like you had, it had like a 9-button keypad. It had an ejection button. It had like 2 dual wielding joysticks and a foot pedal, I think. I can't remember what the game it was for.
Right.
The game was horrible, but the controller was amazing. You put, you get one of those and put that into the thing. Fuck, get a DJ Hero controller and put that in there. That would control something better than a fucking Mad Catz controller.
Well, my favorite setup, because this was early 2000s. They had pods where you could play a Mech Warrior game, and it had the joystick, and it had like little switches and buttons and stuff, so you can like transfer power to shields and weapons and stuff. They did that in a freaking arcade video game cabinet capsule. Again, very inexpensive because it's a freaking video game. It's not a submarine to see the Titanic.
Right.
Just throw that into the Titanic. Just throw that whole thing into the Titanic. What the
Steel
hell?
Battalion is the game I'm thinking of.
Steel Battalion.
It came, it's got a big dual wield controller. It's got like 30 buttons on it. It was an awesome controller, but the game was horrible.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. Well, look, what are you gonna do, right?
Nothing.
I mean,
what am I going to do in a landlocked state with no scuba training whatsoever? Nothing.
You're still
watch it all unfold.
Coast.
I am West Coast.
We've talked.
I am West Coast.
You're West Coast.
I'm West Coast, but no.
West Side.
West Side. Yeah. West Side till you die. Well, that doesn't really work. But speaking of nope, that doesn't work. Doesn't matter. So this past weekend, fuck it. This past weekend, Francis, I went to what turned out to be the largest EDM electronic dance music concert ever held in Colorado. Possibly
ever.
Well, ever, but possibly also in the country, depending on how they do the analytics as far as like single headlining show, like only one performer. But either way, 40 to 50,000 people filled the Denver Bronco Stadium, whatever the hell it's called, to listen to the DJ named Ilium, which I couldn't ever remember his name, so I always called him Aluminium. And I
now know why you call it Denver Bronco Stadium, because the name of the stadium is awful.
Oh, plus I don't know what it's called because it changes his name like every
Power. It's Empowered at Mile High.
See, yeah, that's horrible. What the fuck does that means nothing.
Awful, Dave.
Mile High is the only thing that meant anything to me in that last sentence you just said, because the stadium used to be called Mile High Stadium, and then corporate came
now
in.
It's in Power Field. Well,
yeah, corporate came in, bought everything, and it was something else before that. And it was something at Mile High.
Well, look, the Staples Center is now called the Crypto.com Arena,
I saw
so I
that.
can't.
I saw
we have
that.
names. Yeah,
It's the Staples Center.
so it's
Uh,
Staples Center. Yeah,
yeah.
it'll always be forever the Staples Center. Yeah.
But the Bronco Stadium, it was the largest EDM show in Colorado history, which is saying a lot because we have some pretty big fucking shows here. And the guy, he played 3 separate sets, completely 3 different styles of music. The first was kind of, a nice warm up. The second set was a heavy dubstep, which, there's a dividing line out there in the techno world with dubstep, but heavy dubstep. And then the third set was all live music, which was pretty rad. He brought out the chain smokers, which would have been really cool if I had known, one, who the fuck chain smokers are, because when it comes to music, we all know my fingers up my ass.
Yeah, they had a couple of hits. Yeah, I know who the Chainsmokers
I mean,
are. They had a couple of hits.
I'm aware of the fact that they exist. I know that they're out there and they're a thing, but I don't know. I mean, even this guy, Ilium, I know I've heard some of his music, but I don't, I hear stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a great tune. I don't go searching into being like, who the hell was that? And I need to figure out who that was. Where do they live? How long have they been doing this? How many albums do they got? I don't need to know all that. I was like, that was a good tune. But it was awesome. There was a drone show. I've never seen a drone show, and I was kind of blown away by it. I know that the precisions of drones and programming of them has been around for a while, and I've seen it on TV and whatnot, but to see it, see a Phoenix rise in drone form and rotate was pretty awesome.
Like Japan did, or for the Olympics, did like a drone thing, didn't they?
I believe so, yes. One of the Olympics recently had a drone show.
Yeah, drones are drones are taking over for fireworks, and like they're the big kind of finale thing that you do for shows now when you want to be bombastic and you kind of want to show off. Like, hey, look at our cool new thing.
Speaking of bombastic, I've seen drones with grenades on the attached to them that fall from the sky onto unsuspecting.
Well, that's always been a thing, though. That's
I know,
new.
I know. But the thing is, Francis, is now it's being put on the YouTubes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm just saying, you're flipping through the YouTubes and you're like, what is this? Something about the current, war situation that's happening over there? Let's watch this for a second. Oh, it's a drone actually attacking somebody. All right. Well, I didn't need to watch that any further. Yeah. So they have explosives on these drones, and they're just, there's a group of infantrymen. They just fly right into them. Anyway, we don't need to talk
much,
about
man. Yeah.
That's heavy shit. We're not here to talk about heavy shit.
Heavy. Yeah, that's heavy.
That's a little too heavy. But did you? Well, no, we won't talk about that's too inside for you and me.
Even heavier.
Well, no. That's stupid. So check this out. On Saturday before the concert, the show, with errands and driving around, my brother's was out of town at a festival, an EDM festival that was happening here as well. So I was watching his cats driving to his house twice a day, and just errands and everything else that I had to do. I drove over 100 miles on Saturday. No door dings, no butt prints on my car or my window at the show. Nobody tried to kill me on the freeway at any point. Everything was fine. I drove through a swarm of bugs. That was interesting. We're like, like these were like June bug size. You understand June bugs? It was like June bug size.
Oh, I know June bugs.
Like things bouncing off my windshield. I was afraid that might crack my windshield. Well, bugs didn't, but somebody chipped up a rock or something And after the 115 miles, something chipped my windshield. And,
Oh no.
and I heard it before I saw it. You know that sound of glass.
Ugh.
And I went, did that just
Yeah,
chip? And I
yeah.
saw,
Hey,
I
I drive
saw the
a lot
chip.
of trucks that do that.
Yeah, as I'm saying, did that chip it? I saw it. And I'm like, motherfucker. I just bought this fucking car. It's got a brand, it's still got the original windshield on it. So it was small enough. I went and bought one of those repair kits. And it's really cool because it shoots clear resin into the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just
Okay.
UV cured clear resin. Well, I did it, and it worked really well. I gotta buy another one to, because I used up all the resin. But there's 2 little spots I still want to clean up. But holy shit, those things work.
The magic of those things, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I've
got
never had
to
to
be.
use it, luckily. But
It's got to be a smaller diameter chip. But the fact that you can actually go out there and repair small things like that, is it going to last? I don't know. But I'm not staring at it anymore. It's not an eyesore to me. As I'm not going to wake up every day and go, is the crack going to go all the way across my windshield? So I'm happy that at least there's some things out there that you can kind of repair on your own.
yeah, we're still yeah. Luckily, some things are just not too bad enough to where like we have to call in the inventory and replace an entire windshield for just a crack. Yeah, but that stuff is magic, man. That's a magic. Yeah, that's some magic materials there. So I'm glad that you're able to fix things up without having to sell like a limb to get it repaired.
Right.
Oh my god.
Well,
you've been through enough, man.
I know, right? Well, it some things, I mean, this whole car ordeal just between the start of it in December to buying the one in March to getting that one totaled, to another month goes by, gets this one, and everything's fine. Life has calmed down, right? Well, my temp tags, I noticed the other day, come up for expiration. As of we are recording, they expire tomorrow. So I'm like, I haven't gotten any of my paperwork for this car to take to the DMV to get my real license plate. And if I can count the number of expired tags I see driving around here on a daily basis, I would lose count. But I'm not one of those people. I'm responsible. So I want to get this taken care of. So I called the dealership. I'm like, hey, where's my paperwork? And they're like, well, we've already, we take care of it. We always send that in 12 weeks after purchase. And I'm like, cool. Well, it's been 3 months and I haven't seen anything, which I think is 12 weeks.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Roughly? Doesn't matter.
So.
And I'm like, well,
I can do the math in my head.
Yeah. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter how many weeks. You said I don't have paperwork. My temp tag expires tomorrow. What the fuck is going on? And the response I got from the person was, oh, well, we're behind. And I went, you're 3 months behind on paperwork? How is this business running?
Badly.
Clearly. So the solution is, 1, they're going to try and put an expedite on this paperwork. 2, they are reissuing me another temp tag. Now, what I failed to ask was, are they reissuing me another 3-month temp tag or a 2-week temp tag? And
24 hours.
Right. And I'm fine. They're going to take care of that, whatever. But when I'm there, I want to try and talk to one of the head. I'm not going to go all fucking whatever the male version of a Karen is, but like I've gotten no response from the guy that sold me the car since the day I bought the car from him. whether it be via email or phone number or phone calls. I never heard back from him. And there was a condition that he promised me upon purchase that hasn't been fulfilled. At this point, I don't even care about the thing promised to me because it's been so long. Clearly, I don't want you guys touching this car any further than you already have. So they were going to replace the fog lights, which, now it's like, I don't even give a fuck. I can care less.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me now. But I just want to be like, your guy's customer service sucks. And like, how the fuck are you 3 months behind on paperwork? Are you 3 months behind on your electricity bill too? Like, what kind of
people live like that? Yeah,
I know they do, but
and look, listeners, mate, we don't all live in the future where paperwork is on a thumb drive.
there was one that I got on a thumb drive, but
2050.
I still had, that was all the sale paperwork. That wasn't the paperwork you take to the DMV. That's a whole separate thing. Like, they got to send you the title that they have, all the sales tax paperwork, all that shit. They got to send that to you. So yeah, I get to drive another 100 miles. It's going to be like, I don't know, 80 round trip just to get another temp tag. Which
You're earning your car.
yeah, right. Which I mean, really, I could probably get away with the fucking tag I have because I work with somebody that's got an expired tag from June of 2018. So I don't even.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell
What is that? 5 years?
you. Yeah.
Almost.
They're
5
like,
years?
you know what? 5 years, whatever. Make it 6,
6.
round number.
It's 6 years. It'll be 6 years. It's 6 years now. It's June now. It's June of 2020. June of 23. So yeah. Insane. But I'm not one of those people. I like to have license plates on my car.
You like to be responsible.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't go to the Nuggets parade with the other 750,000 people that magically found a day off.
You're also not a sport like an NBA fan, so
Definitely not an NBA fan. Not for any reason, but it's fucking boring.
yeah.
Like, what's exciting about watching one team score and then run down the other side of the court, watch that team score, and then turn around and run up the court and watch the other team?
But that's every sport. That's
No,
soccer.
that's
hockey. That's
no,
football,
dude. Soccer.
that's every sport.
Soccer. You might see a goal a game. Let's be real.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few games out there that's like fucking. A high score in soccer is like 3-2.
That's true.
Because they got to run
okay.
like
Still.
9 miles in between the goalposts and shit. Like,
Yeah. Soccer pitch is bigger than a football field, so yeah.
yeah. Football is just a bunch of fucking back and forth with an exciting play every fucking 13 minutes. That's why it's boring too. Hockey, at least they're beating the shit out of each other while they do it.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're on they're on skates, so they're not just walking around. And
This
that's
is why you like F1. This is why you like racing, because they're only going. It's not a back and forth. They're going in a single direction the entire time.
I mean, I like F1 for a lot of reasons, but
I know.
but like baseball.
Right.
Like, who would voluntarily stand in front of somebody throwing a fucking rock at you? When people throw things at me, I move. I don't stand there and be like, yes, throw it at me. I'm a tough guy. Throw 100 miles an hour at me.
How many? It depends, though. Would you do it for $750,000 a year, and all you have to do is stand in front of a baseball for about, 3 to 4 months?
And complain when I can't play because my finger's broken. Meanwhile, the guy is sitting there on the hockey bench getting stitched with no Novocaine onto his face.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, what are you going to do with hockey? Hockey is just.
I think
That's
I
a
think
whole other.
baseball
That's a whole
play,
other.
I think
beast.
baseball players should be allowed to run with the bat.
They should be able to. They should be able to hit the people at base who are like guarding the base, the different basemen. They should be able to hit them if they have the ball, as a way to kind of avoid getting tagged out. So they should be allowed at least one good swing at the
I mean, they
at
can.
the basemans.
I figured use it like a cross check in hockey, where they use the stick to just like, push in, push
Shove
in
people
this,
out of the way,
shove people
yeah.
out of the way with the bat in your hand. I think it'd make it a lot more fun.
I mean,
Plus that play at the home plate where the ball's coming into the catcher and the guy's running in, right? Instead of them just running into each other, which is fresh, right? It's probably the freshest move in baseball. But if the guy had a bat with him at the same time, imagine how much cooler that impact would be.
a lot of shoving outward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, to make the sports more
Get
fun.
more broken noses, that's for sure.
Well, they wouldn't be able to play then either. My nose is broken. I can't breathe. In a game where I don't do anything but stand.
There's different levels of
I'm
severity,
never
that's
getting
true.
invited to another
Hockey-
baseball game ever again, by the way.
Well, luckily you're not missing out. So,
All right.
so it's fine. You're not missing out. on
Or
anything.
say goodbye to that
Baseball.
Rockies money I've made in the past.
Oh yeah, all of the rock. Yeah, yeah.
No, I really had. For real. One of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That MLB money.
Well, then you take it all back.
Yeah, it's satire. You know how
Satire.
you know how you got some of that Google money? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got some of that MLB money,
Oh, okay.
and it's comparable. It's comparable. It was
We love you.
well, they don't anymore.
You're the best.
The contact
Poor
is
Josh,
gone.
he's frozen.
Oh
Either
no,
I'm frozen.
you're frozen.
One or the other. I guess. Oh, we're both frozen.
Yeah. Well, can you hear me though? No. Gone. We'll wait for Francis to come back from being frozen. We all see him, but he can't hear us completely right now, apparently. Nope. Nothing. And I'm probably frozen on his screen. So, while we're waiting for him, if you're going to be in the Denver area over the weekend of the 29th, I believe, the 30th through the 2nd, the 30th of July to the 2nd, or 30th of June to the 2nd of July, FanEx Denver is happening. Tickets are selling fast. I definitely want to get on that if you want to be a part of it. Are you back? I see you giggling.
Yeah. Well, the most important thing is that you're back.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they never lost me. You lost me.
Well, unfortunately, on Twitch, we disappeared as a whole.
Oh well, fuck. I don't know.
A whole. I mean, we were there. It was just Streamlabs going. They're not here.
Well,
Sorry, guys.
Well, sorry.
Hi, everyone.
We're back.
People are still here. People are still hanging out.
That's good.
So it's all good. Thanks, everyone.
Technical difficulties. What can you do? As I was saying, I don't know who heard what, but if you're going to be in the Denver area over the course of the June 30th to July 2nd, FanEx Denver is going to be happening. Apparently, I'm going to be possibly hosting a couple panels, so definitely come check me out. Watch me embarrass myself in front of people. It'll be a lot of fun.
Watch him do sketch comedy. No, sketch.
That would be hilarious. You
sketch comedy.
watch the sweat machine just turn on immediately, and just it would be horrible. Otherwise, we'll be back next week for more internet problems and more difficulties and more stupid generic topics that you have all come to love and enjoy from us.
Embrace,
yes. Thank you to everybody that was here for the last hour or so. We're here every Tuesday, or at least most every Tuesday, 7:30ish Mountain Time, which is really, I should start saying 7:45ish Mountain Time, because
Right.
that's
No. Don't say that, because it's going to get pushed to like 8
No, what
Mountain.
we should do is like what all the other streamer kids do, where they they start their stream like 10 minutes before they actually start their stream, and they like have a counter. You seen that, right?
Oh, I see that all the time. Yeah. I see that all the time.
That's if I tell people we're gonna be here at 7:30, then maybe more people will be here when we start. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. You never know.
You never know. Francis, where can people find you on the internets if they want to stalk you?
AKA the other guy on Twitter and Instagram, and go check out supergeeknup.com, where we'll have guests of all sorts in an improv comedy show where a lot of improv, a little bit of comedy. Because we try. We're not real. Myself and Jeff are not real actual improv comedians, but we host real improv comedians, which is like great. Good. We're bringing in people who are better than us. That's fine. That'll be fun.
You guys learn from the people you bring in.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
It's all about perspective, Francis. Yeah. Well, follow him. Go over to Super Geeked Up. It's fun. It's a good time. It's a few hours every Wednesday of just comedy, and sometimes things about panties or something.
Sure. Yeah, every once in a while.
Yeah. But you can find me at 303_ninja on the Twitters, 303ninja on the Instagram. You can find everything Points of Interest by looking up POI Podcast, because that's what we are pretty much everywhere. Represented at FanExpo. It's going to be pretty cool. Call us 314-764-7631. Text, voicemail, whatever. Listeners, mate, we did get your message. I didn't get a chance to work it into this week's show, but I will try and get something for next week where we can hear your voicemail. Definitely continue to send us topics and stuff for us to talk about, because sometimes we run out of shit.
That's true.
That's very true. I think that's everything. Francis, have a great week. We will see you next week. I'm going to talk to you for another 20 minutes or so, but for everybody else, we're done, and we'll be back next week. The song's over. Bye.